and one show in Copenhagen. How does it feel to start off your Symphonica tour here in Denmark?
Well, I had such a fantastically enthusiastic reaction the last time I was here, you know, and I came back and played shows I wasn't expecting to play because things went so well here. And I think the place I was playing last time held 50,000, it was something like that. But yeah, there were fantastic crowds, amazing crowds. So it's a really good place to be, for it to be the first big venue with the whole show set up and everything.
You've been to Denmark several times before, as you say. You were here on your last tour, and you recorded your very famous album, Faith, in the Book Studios here in Jutland.
That's right, yeah.
What do you think about Denmark?
Lovely people, lots of trees, lovely people. Just feels very... two things I remember feeling, especially during Faith, was one, how pleasant everyone was, and two, how safe it felt compared to London, you know.
In the breaks of this tour, I understand that you're recording a new album, which is very different from the Symphonica tour. It's modern dance music. How do you combine the two?
Well, the thing is, I'm interested in the two. You know what I'm saying? I've always had. I mean, I think I'm pretty well known for there being a fairly even balance in my successes in terms of ballads and up-tempo songs, and so that's kept my kind of lyric writing, the lyric writing element of what I do going constantly, because I'm working in my mind on that, and this is all much more about my voice, you know. So I think at my age, to be able to have those two things going on and to know that they'll both be heard to a degree is quite remarkable. I'm thrilled about it, to have that kind of momentum in my own brain at this age, you know.
On your new album, on the dance music album, there are a lot of gay and gay-friendly artists on that. What's it meant to you to be open about your sexuality?
Well, I've been open in the songs that I've written since I've been out, but they've still basically been about relationships, and only some of these lyrics on this new album are about relationships. There are so many things that, you know, there are so many aspects to gay life that I've discovered, and so many things to write about. I have a new life, and I have a new take on dance music because of that life. And
what do you mean, new life?
Well, as a gay man. You know, dance music plays a very different part in gay men's lives at 48 than it does straight men's lives at 48. I would say that's an understatement, actually.
This CD I bought in '84, I think it was, and this was the first CD I ever bought, and actually it was the first CD you were able to buy in Jutland, in this part of Jutland. And I think for many people in my generation, we grew up with your music, we fell in love with your music, and got married with your music, and all these...
Had lots of babies with
your music.
Don't forget that bit.
What does it feel like to have provided the soundtrack to so many people's lives?
Well, it's a privilege, isn't it? It's an amazing privilege. I mean, I've been very aware of it and felt very responsible for kind of handling that privilege with care. Not many people really are that meticulous with what they do, I suppose, and I'm just a control freak and terribly afraid of failure or regret. So I work very hard at these things, and I hope people will feel that in the show as well, you know.
You have been in the spotlight for almost 3 decades. How have you coped, or how are you coping with the media attention and fuss and...
As badly as ever, really. I've just been on a holiday on an island, and just for 4 days, and I think pretty much everybody in the island has my picture now. I'm a little too polite for my own good, really.
You don't get used to it over the years?
No. It gets stranger over the years, actually, because the longer people have seen like a two-dimensional, you know, whether it be TV or the newspaper, people who've seen you in 2 dimensions for nearly 3 decades, you know, since they were children or whatever, when they see the 3D version, they tend to... It's almost like it gets weirder. The experience gets weirder because people's response to you over time gets stronger. Not necessarily... It doesn't necessarily go with your chart success or whatever. It goes with how long you've been around. You know, and so the response to you gets stronger and stronger, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate that. I think that's why a lot of people like me, who've been around for years and years, only really lose it in their 40s and 50s. You know, there are a lot of people that seem to lose their minds at a certain age, and I think I know why now. You know,
what are you doing
like
to
the
avoid
legends,
that?
the kind of
What are you
legends.
doing to keep that from happening?
Well, I stay home a lot. No, I'm trying to break free of that as well. I try very hard to thank my lucky stars, you know, and keep it all in proportion and perspective. But it can be very tiring having a smiley face all day for thousands of.
Yeah, no wonder.
And when I travel, that's much more likely to happen, of course.
There were, when you're talking about keeping away from the public, there were 17 years where you did not go on the road. But now you are on the road and on a tour again. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it now?
One thing I will say about the holiday I just went on, I didn't have any security with me, which is one of the reasons that I spent the whole. That's one thing. So I'm protected from some of that out here, but I obviously feel a very different relationship with the people who come to see the shows than the people, because if it were just my fans that decided they needed my picture, then I think I'd be all right. You know, there are lots of George Michael fans, but there aren't that many. You know. It's the fact that everyone seems to want one, just, you know, in case their wife wants it, or their daughter wants it, or their gay partner wants it. But you know, I cope with it okay, and the better things are going for me in my life, and the more happy I am with the shows, the better I cope with everything. You know.
You have a long tour ahead of you now. You're starting on Monday.
This is the heaviest schedule I've ever had, actually. I don't know how that happened, really. It was really much more about me being afraid of looking at the schedule. And not noticing there are more and more dates going in. I'm actually now just kind of excited to see it in a bigger venue. And
it's going to be a huge setup. You're going to have
the setup
an entire symphony orchestra with you.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that going to be like?
Well, I know now, as of last Monday, it feels amazing. And I'm looking forward to getting more and more comfortable with it, and my voice getting stronger and stronger as the tour goes on, you know.
What do you do to prevent it from...
Nothing.
You're just lucky.
I'm just lucky. Yeah, I have lozenges that I suck the whole day out. Paranoia, but no, really. Since I learned to relax about it, I've found it much easier. Actually, I used to get really, really paranoid, and after every show I'd have to go straight back to the hotel and talk to no one, and and it's so dull and so boring, and actually led to more throat problems because of the anxiety. But I'm much more relaxed about it now, and my voice seems to be fine, and I feel ready to do it, and it also feels very honest. It feels very honest. I would not be ready to come out and do another 3 years of a greatest hits tour, and even though there are quite a few of my greatest hits in this, it's something completely different, and that's what I need right now. I don't want to, as I said, I'm not really interested in repeating experiences again and again. And I like to challenge myself to improve as a vocalist, and believe me, singing with an orchestra is one way to do it, really.
So what challenges do you see lie ahead?
Well, the dance album is a challenge. I think it will be a challenge with the media. But the challenge of this tour really is to see what kind of a singer I can be by the end of it. By Christmas, I think I'll see just what my potential as a singer is at this point in time, And I hope that I'll be a better singer than I've ever been. So
I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, that's quite a good line to finish on.
Exactly.
Definitely finish on that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.